Hello YouTube, I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney and we're answering a question today on our video yesterday. It was actually posted yesterday and it went a little something like this. What happens if Starbucks just fires all the employees who decided to unionize? Now, our video yesterday was about Buffalo, New York, where a Starbucks location opted to unionize, right? One Starbucks store, one Starbucks shop, the employees voted to unionize. So this question is, what if those unionized employees, Starbucks just comes in and fires them all? Now, the easy answer is, that's illegal. They can't do that. National Labor Relations Act says that's illegal. There's a bunch of state laws who say that's illegal. There's a lot of protections in place if that specifically happens. And that's great. Except there's more. We know from studies and history and data that about 41% of employers, when faced with a potentially unionizing workforce, will break federal law. 41%. Now that's going to result in some people getting fired. It's going to result in some intimidation. It's going to result in some harassment, some bribery. Like it takes many forms, right? And the NLRB, the federal agency tasked with enforcing the NLRA, the National Labor Relations Act, and defending people who have been targeted for trying to unionize, is a mediocre federal agency. They do some weird things. In some situations, they can force you to settle your case, right? If you bring an NLRB case, they can say, hey, great news, we've settled your case. You might say, I didn't agree to any settlement. What do you mean? You didn't settle my case. They said, oh no, we've decided you're going to settle for this much. Well, it's my case. I'm going to decide if I settle. No. In certain situations, the NLRB has taken it upon itself to take that power away from you, right? That's very concerning. And it's even more concerning because they'll do it in situations where sometimes they don't really want to do their job. Hey, we decided to settle your case for 15 grand. I lost my job. Like 10 people lost their job. It's very clear cut. We have a letter here saying, you effing losers, we're firing you because you tried to unionize. Pretty open and shut. We think we can do better than 15 grand. Yeah, but as an employee of the NLRB, if I try to get you more than 15 grand, I'm going to have to work on this. Well, let's face it. I can't be fired. I'm a federal employee. I don't give a shit about you. So, enjoy your 15 grand, right? That happens. That is all too common. That is the major issue with the NLRB. But there's more. Now, there are attorneys who specifically enter the field of employment law and specialize in union busting. I know a couple. I'm friends with a couple. I had a conversation with these people like, hey, why do you do that? That's not a nice thing to do. It's a pretty horrible thing to do. And one person in particular, I recall, said, listen, you don't get paid big bucks to do nice things. I'm here for me. Oh my goodness. Well, I appreciate the honesty. And I'm not going to name names because, but it is what it is, right? So there's these attorneys out there who spend all their time, all their waking working hours, figuring out how to help employers mess with unionizing employees while not getting caught or not running too far afoul of federal law, right? So that's not great either. Right? You've got kind of a lackluster agency on your side. You've got some very talented, very high-paid defense attorneys who do nothing day in and day out but figure out how to mess with unionizing employees and prevent unionization, right? So, what's the good news? Well, in many states and in many jurisdictions, you can hire private counsel, people like our firm or other firms who do what we do, to bring a unanimous claim to go after your employer under state or local law for activities that are anti-union, and also to, in some cases, help you on the federal level as well. That's great. That's a really good approach. That's something you should do. Now, bringing it back to the specifics of this situation, Starbucks unionizing for the first time ever, or having one of their facilities unionized for the first time ever, is a really big deal, right? These employees in Buffalo did a big thing, really big thing. And if Starbucks fired them, the NLRB would have to go nuclear. Not because the NLRB necessarily cares deeply about employees. There are amazing people at the NLRB. 10, 20% of NLRB employees are incredible. Just true believers, incredibly talented, fighting the fight, winning the right stuff, like doing it all, right? But your average federal employee, and this is true in the EEOC, it's true in the NLRB, not a huge fan of doing work. They like the free money and the long lunches and, being very difficult to terminate. So why would the rest of those NLRB employees get off their butts to help the Starbucks employees? Here's why. The media storm over Starbucks firing all the unionized employees would be so great that the NLRB would wake up one day and say, whoa, the no-work gravy train's about to end if we don't do something about this. People are going to start looking at how absurdly incompetent we are. And if they start doing that, we're going to be held accountable. We're going to actually have to help employees. Admittedly, 20% of the NLRB really already does help employees, right? There are good people at the NLRB. It's just, on average, they're not amazing. But here, all the not amazing employees at NLRB would band together and say, well, we can't have the public attention on us. We need free money Fridays with no work and no helping human beings, right? And the best way to do that is now to crucify Starbucks because they did a bad thing and it's all over the media. And if we don't do something horrible to them, well, we're screwed because people are going to realize that we're not amazing, right? And so they will. A little rational self-interest would help those Starbucks employees a great deal, I think, as the employees of the NLRB wake up and say, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't care so much about other human beings, but myself. I must fix this problem, or I will have to wake up and work every day, and gracious me, I can't have that. Anyways, like and subscribe. Comment down below. Tell me I'm right. Tell me I'm wrong. Talk about my theory. Don't talk about my theory. Talk about your theory. I'm in for it all. I'm going to watch the comments down below. And, again, to those Buffalo employees who unionized, I think it's really exciting. I think unions are good in general. Lots of bad unions in the world. In general, unions are good. Organized labor is powerful. And it's time for people to wake up and say, hey, why is my pension worth less than it was? Why don't I get paid very much? And why am I getting paid in terms of buying power less today than I was 12 months ago? Why are all these bad things happening to me? And why is the government printing free money and giving it to rich people, but not me? Why? Why? So strange. They said they wanted to help me. Why haven't they?